Hey, good morning, good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome to episode 50 of the Daily Dose. Good morning to you. If you're catching me live, let me know. Give me a little hello, good morning, whatever you want to say. Nice things, let's keep it nice. Happy day to you. Let's see if we can adjust this. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I'm a couple of moments late this morning. A few minutes after the trucks, I'm sitting in my front patio, if you will, and they were doing garbage. They do garbage pickup on Monday, and they were taking the trash, and the truck was really loud. So I'm just getting on here now. Good morning, good morning. Hey, Stuart, good morning to you. Good morning. So today's topic is: are you an overthinker? And if you're an overthinker, this message is for you. What is the Daily Dose? Let me just on a sidebar, let you know that the Daily Dose is episode 50. We're doing episodes. I don't know how many we're going to do, but this is episode 50. And for the past 50 days, I've been coming on here live at 8 a.m. to give you a daily dose of encouragement, a daily dose of inspiration, motivation, whatever you want to call it. And why am I doing this in a time in our world right now where there's lots of things that can discourage you and get you frustrated and get you angry and get you confused and depressed and all those types of things, and just pull you down, weight you down, anchor you down, pull you down and keep you stuck. This is not one of those things. This, in fact, I want to help do whatever I can to encourage you to not just live today, but to get prepared for tomorrow. And the topic today is something that I know a lot of people struggle with, and I have as well over time. I'm going to share with you a brief story about how I overthink, and I do it often. I would say I'm pretty good at it now, not overthinking things, and I've realized that and if you're an overthinker, you can attest to it as well, as overthinking can leave you stuck from taking action. So my question to you is, and if you want to be bold enough and say, yes, I'm an overthinker, if you're an overthinker, go ahead and affirm it right down below and say, yes, Mark, I'm an overthinker. I'd love to hear from you and to know. And again, it's not saying that there's something wrong with you. It's just saying you're normal, because a lot of people who are normal, are overthinkers. And, one of the things it's a struggle, because when we start to think, you've heard of that phrase, stinking thinking, right? Like where we start to think and think and think and think. And when we start to, and regardless of it being good or bad, most of the time when you're overthinking, a lot of times it's negative thoughts that you're thinking about. In fact, overthinking is a bit of an art. And it's an art, and I wrote some notes down because I shared with you before kind of my struggles, my past, is that I have a short-term memory deficit. It's basically a learning disability. And so I have to take notes. I take notes, not so I can script this, it's just so I don't forget them. And, I can overthink things, and saying, oh, I don't remember this, I don't remember that, or I can write some stuff down, and that's how I avoid that. But hey, good morning, Jennifer. Good morning, Joyce. Good morning to you. Appreciate you. Daily Dose. And listen, on another side note is, if this is something you find valuable, is please share it. All I ask is, there's probably somebody in your world, maybe somebody on your Facebook group, somebody that you're close with who's maybe struggling, maybe they're overthinking, and this message may land on you and it may land on one of your friends. And if it does, all I ask in return is that you share it. Hey, Carolyn, good morning to you. So my question is, if you're an overthinker, what do you overthink about? There's lots of things to overthink about. I know for a fact, part of me being a health and fitness coach, people overthink their health. They overthink, getting started on something. I have a challenge, a 21-day challenge that I'm starting. It's a free challenge. I've never done it before. In fact, I was a little nervous. It took me a little longer than I expected to get things together to do this challenge. And I was saying, I definitely almost got caught in this overthinking period, but luckily I have a coach and a mentor who helped guide my path, who helped directed me in the way I needed to go. And that's really kind of part of this message. So here's the thing, what happens when, and I wrote some of this stuff down, the overthinking, I said, is an art, and it's an art in creating problems that weren't even there in the first place. Does that resonate with you? Because have you ever come out of the other side where you thought like we're overthinking things, and then like a few months later you realize that wasn't really even an issue or a problem, right? Overthinking means your mind has looked onto a topic, often negative, And it is hard to let go. And gosh, right now in a time, there's a lot of things it's hard to maybe let go of. What we were used to, the things that were normal, the ability to go out and to give somebody a hug or a handshake or not have to wear a mask or be out in public or sit in a restaurant next to somebody, those types of things. And again, don't get me wrong, it's not to underemphasize the value of what's going on there, but just so we start to think about it too much, it can get us stuck in our head and going over a situation without really taking any real action on it. So that's, my question to you is your overthinking preventing you from acting? I'll tell you what, I've had a number of people that start working with me as come into my coaching, my inner circle, if you will, my Lean Body Breakthrough coaching program, which, by the way, is a one-on-one coaching mentorship program where people come in and they have me come alongside them to help them navigate through where they're overthinking things or maybe just stuck and struggling. And I'll say is I've met people that have been stuck and struggling. They've gone up and down the weight loss ladder. They've gone up and down the quick fixes. They've gone up and down the gym membership so many times, so many years. Some of them are even more versed than I am because they spent their last 10 or 15 years going up and down that roller coaster ride, if you will. And the problem happens is you start overthinking. Am I able to do this? So for instance, I know there'll be some people maybe that choose not to do this challenge. Like, oh, I failed. I've done a challenge. I've done a free challenge before. It didn't work. It didn't work. And then you start to think about it. Well, what should I do? What should I do? And you start thinking about it. Should I do this or should I do that? Should I go back to my gym? Should I start eating healthier? Should I lay out the carbs? Start thinking it. And then the problem is not so much all those things. It's that you're overthinking it and it prevents you from acting. It consumes you, and when it consumes you, the overthinking part takes energy away. It decreases your ability to make decisions. Does that make sense? And my goal in this encouragement is that you don't just listen to me from being encouraged. If you're encouraged by this, is that today maybe this person, if you're that person who overthinks things, is you actually decide to take action today. And I got to share with you a quick story. One of the things, if you hadn't heard, if you haven't watched me or followed me at any period of time, is I've been in this health and fitness journey professionally as a career for now work on my 25th year. My first personal training client was back in 95. So I've really been pursuing it beforehand because I had to take certifications and training and so forth. And at a period when I moved here to Florida, after graduating and doing physical therapy, when we moved here, I started working in a personal training center, and I happened to be around a lot of golfers. Here where we live in Florida, there's a lot of golfers and a lot of retired golfers who were able to work, and they needed to work with trainers because now they're retired and they're out of shape and they want to play golf a lot. So anyway, long story short is they decided they wanted to work with me because I had this background in physical therapy. I was like, hey, it's a good fit. But I didn't really know a lot about golf as far as the mechanics and the ins and outs. So I went and did this training. And there may be some of you who are watching may have heard of it, the Titleist Performance Institute, the TPI. They are pretty much the leading authority in golf fitness and really conditioning and sports performance as it's applied to golf. And they started an organization. This is Titleist, obviously the golf balls. If you're a golfer, you've maybe heard of it. But they started, and I got involved with them way back, early on in like 2004 or 5 or something, when they first started. And anyway, I spent thousands and thousands of dollars in training so that I could provide a higher quality service to my clients that I was working with, who happened to be golfers, personal training clients, in face-to-face. I was working in their homes and on the golf course. We do golf fitness programs. We're working in country clubs and golf courses as well. And anyway, the point is that I'll never forget this one story. Now, mind you, all this training, all this like biomechanics, 3D technology, so much thinking, and I did all the levels. I spent probably 3 years training, thousands and thousands of dollars. I was, and I still am, kind of know a thing or two about golf and fitness. But the point is, I'll never forget this one client that I had. And you got to stay with me here. This is a really good story. And he was an older client, and I worked with him and his wife, and he just was not compliant. He didn't act on the routine. In fact, they hired me as their coach. I came to their home once a week, set up a plan for them, and then I would come back each week and see how they've been doing. In other words, I would go and set their plan up for the week, and they would go do their week plan, and I'd meet back with them the next week on a Monday or something. And this one gentleman, and I worked with the husband and the wife, and she was compliant. She did, women, you know how it is. You're compliant. Your husband's like, no, I don't need any of this stuff. I don't need a trainer. I don't need a coach. I got this all covered. And she was compliant and seeing results and doing well. And I was like, it was detailed. I did a whole screen with them, and it was like, it was better than pretty much most of any fitness programs. And this was specific for golf to help somebody play golf better, right? So I went, and he wouldn't be compliant, wasn't compliant. And then I was thinking of how detailed I was, like how much stuff I was giving him. And he just didn't, he's like, I was just thinking there's too many exercises, too much of this. And here I am thinking I'm doing him good. And then I'm like, all right. So he was like in his maybe middle, later 60s. And I'm like, all right, so let's do this. So let's go ahead and let's start. And if you've ever heard of foam rolling, soft tissue work, dynamic, movement stuff. So I said, I'm going to give you a basic routine. I'm going to show you how to use a foam roller. All I want you to do is to do this before you play golf. Because he's like, man, my back hurts and I can't hit the ball very far. And I know there's a lot more that goes into it. And any of my golf fitness colleagues, if you're watching this right now, it might resonate with you. And then there's a stinking thinking that goes on, and I learned this. And here it is. I said, just do the foam roller. And we don't even do the stretches. We don't even do the exercises. Let's just do the foam roller. Do that. So I said, just do it. Trust me, do it for 2 weeks, 3 days a week. Boom. So I came back first week. He's like, man, it wasn't very good. The next week he came back, and he looked like he was 10 years younger. Now, I didn't give him any elaborate exercise plan or any nutrition program or any of that. He just foam rolled. And he said, Mark, I had the best day of golf in my entire life. I think he had probably six. He hit the ball at least 20 yards further, he said, off the tee. And he's like, he was sold into believing me. He didn't even do anything he wanted. But you know what he did? He acted on it. He didn't overthink. And I was overthinking as the coach, saying, you need all this stuff. It's all customized, this. You need all this. And really what he really needed was something simple, something basic. And he also needed to act on that. And it was really cool because he had this breakthrough, that he was saying, okay, I don't want to overthink things when they're too complicated. And that's what I think a lot of us, the point is that a lot of us go through our days and we get our minds complicated. When I say when you confuse, you lose, right? That stinking thinking, you start thinking too much. And I did as the coach to my client. So I realized that I just need to clear all the confusion, make it very simple, give him one small thing. And you know what? He did that. And you know what? He had a breakthrough. And here's the cool thing on the client side. He was compliant. He actually did what I told him. And it was very small in comparison to the old grand scheme of things. Now, you may need a lot of things in your life. You may need a new job, and you may need to lose 50 pounds. You may need to start working out. But I think sometimes we get stuck because we start to overthink things. We start this mindset and thinking. And listen, let me just share this with you. So I wrote a few things down about overthinking. Do you listen if you do this? Hey, sorry, I didn't say hello. I got fired up sharing my story. And if you're just coming on live now, you have to go back and watch the beginning of it. What's up, Joseph? What's up, Guy? What's up? Appreciate it. Thank you for watching. So this whole thing, are you an overthinker? Well, let me just say this. Do you second guess everything? Do you analyze? Now, this is if you're an overthinker, chances are you're going to resonate with some of this. Second guess everything? Do you analyze situations, react maybe conversations? You react to conversation. Do you predict the worst is going to happen? Do you hate making decisions? Do you not shut off your brain at night? You have trouble sleeping? Do you prefer to let someone else make the decisions? And I don't know, and I'm saying I resonate with some of these things. Do you experience extreme feelings of regret? Do you have a lot of regret in your life? Sometimes that can be causing you to overthink, trying to do what's next. Do you take things too personally? Do you consider yourself a perfectionist? Do you criticize all of the time? Criticize yourself and others all of the time? Those are some things, if you think about overthinking. And I was like, if you resonate with any of these, chances are maybe where you're not wanting to be, whether regarding your life, your health, maybe losing that weight, getting your body in the best shape of your life. One of the things that I help to do with my coaching clients, and this isn't like a shameless plug because it's truly what I believe and feel, is to get over that stinking thinking, to get people over that overthinking. And the hardest part for me to do is I can't help people until they actually make the decision to act on it. Instead, their decision, I mentioned this the other day, your indecision is truly a decision, and sometimes it's caused by overthinking. So here's what I want to share with you. You can choose not to worry, or at least learn how not to worry when you let go of things that you can't control. And I share this as well. One of the things that's helped me tremendously in my life is letting God take care of what I can't control. And that doesn't mean just pray and just like, hey, give it to God, give it to God. Yes, I believe all that. And this is not to make light of it, because my faith, I don't feel, has ever been stronger in a time where I feel it's really needed to be strong. But I will say is, if you're able to let God take care of the things that you can't control, but there's the second part to it, but then you take care of the things that you can control. And your health being one of those, your fitness being one of those, you can control those. Here's a cool thing. And again, this could be related to anything. There's maybe a lot that you have ability to control, and you may not have a job right now. And I'm sorry if you lost your job or you're furloughed or, all those types of things, but you can potentially go and find another job, right? And you're like, no, there's no jobs out there. Well, have you looked? I mean, you got to take action into doing those things. And I'm just going to finish with this verse, and I hope this message finds you well about overthinking. So listen up. Matthew 6:33 and 34. But seek first. And now here's my job. My job is not to just throw Bible verses at you and think, hey, that's just going to make it better. It truly isn't. Because there's people I know that you can read the Bible, that know the Bible, and that's say they know God and all those things, but you got to live it out. You got to kind of talk the talk, and walk the walk. And this is something I truly believe in Matthew 6:33 and 34. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day had enough trouble of its own. Isn't that reassuring? So the reassuring thing is, I believe that I'm not going to worry about tomorrow, not just because just because it says this in the scripture, because I believe God's got me exactly where he wants me. And he doesn't want me to worry about tomorrow, because he says today is significant enough to worry about, to take care of. And not just to worry, to actually take action. And I think a lot of times our overthinking can lead us into excessive worry. Now, there's things in my life that I stress over and worry and I am concerned about, right? The health of my family, the health of loved ones, the livelihood of my business. But I would say is there's a difference in a switch that can happen for you, and it being Monday, it'd be a great time to do it. Whether you decide to do something like my challenge, or you get into my inner circle and become a coaching client of mine, or you go search a new job, or you make some decisions today that are going to get you out of the stinking thinking. So if you're one of those overthinkers, maybe it's time, today could be the day that you stop overthinking and you just think. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, and that's all I have for you today. It is a happy Monday. If you need to start thinking and to stop overthinking, today can be the very first day you do that. So listen, this is the Daily Dose. If you found this encouragement, all I ask in return is that you share this with somebody. You share this encouragement. If you know somebody's an overthinker, maybe you say, hey, I just heard this message from this guy. He's an online coach. He does health and fitness coaching, but he also does this thing called a Daily Dose of encouragement. And that's truly all. If God can use me to help somebody else be encouraged, then God is doing what he needs to do in and through me to get to you. So again, and it isn't anything that I did. It's all up there. It's all what he's done for me. Out of the overflow that he's given and provided for my life, I want to do the same for yours. So that's all I have. Take care and have a very, very blessed day.